If you want to achieve something that you have never achieved before, you have to become someone that you've never been before. We all understand that. So for example, if you want to achieve the same type of success as the top producer in your company, you will need to start becoming the type of person that can command high performance. But in reality, what happens is most people simply say to themselves, no, that's way too much work and I don't see why. I need to rewire my brain or brainwash myself to start becoming like so and so. Instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be taking shortcuts. So I'm going to be focusing on what the other person has and what the person does. And I believe that if I can copy the behavior and if I can just get access to what they have, I will start thinking and feeling like them. And before you know it, it becomes quite crazy because you have now a growing society with grown men and grown women saying to themselves, we aspire to be like so and so at the top. And we know that so and so simply drive this particular car and live in the particular neighborhood and wear this particular type of outfit. So if we can just buy the same outfit, buy the same type of car, and get something that looks like what this person has on a daily basis and behave like them, then we believe that we're going to become like these people. And what happens is we now have a society that become extremely fat when it comes to consumerism. For example, there was a study that was conducted in 2015, and that study simply revealed to us that yes, the western part of the world now, our consumption has gone over by about 400%. So on a yearly basis now, we are now buying close to about 80 billion new outfits because we want so much to look like those at the top. And we are not going to stop at any stop until we believe that we have all the artifact, all the outfit that these people wear on a daily basis, and that we can also start believing and thinking that we have also become like them. And of course, you know that this is completely unsustainable. And the sad thing is that the more people do that, the more they feel empty, because they realize that all these material things, all the external things that seem to bring them closer to the top are actually making them feel even more shallow, emptier than before. And this is something that can be prevented. Here's the truth. If you want to achieve something you've never achieved before, you first have to become that one particular person. Oh my goodness. And this is all mental. So it all first starts in the mind. When you look at athletes, for example, on the track, they don't break the record on the track. They don't even break the record during practice. The record is first broken in the mind. They first have to become the type of person that can break the record in the mind before the performance becomes a reality. That's just something we like to par for now. So as far as coming to a place where you start commenting the things you've never actually commented in life before, you first have to become the type of person who does not need validation from these external things. That's the number one key thing. You matter of fact, there is something really profound I read a few years ago. The gentleman says, you are not wealthy until you reach a place where you don't need to post a picture of yourself boarding a private jet. When you reach that level where you don't need to advertise certain things, you know that yes, you are no longer in need of validation as far as your wealth status is concerned. The same principle needs to apply as far as picking the switch becoming basically that particular individual that does not need validation from all these external things, that does not need validation from people outside. But if I share a picture of what I'm doing right now, you're gonna say, oh yeah, I like it. You don't need this validation. And once you reach that place, my friend, success is now going to become a natural consequence of what you do on a daily basis, not just the bottom line. And the principle as far as how to become that person that does not need validation from external things is very simple. You first have to control how you manage your time, how you manage your space, and how more specifically you manage your nervous system. Let me break it down. How you manage your time on a daily basis is an indication of where you are going and who you're becoming. If your time is still at the mercy of anything that could happen during the day, you are still thinking like the people at the foot of the mountain. You have to make the switch. You have to become a switchonaire before you can become a millionaire or a billionaire. You have to make the switch in your mind that yes, I'm going to be prioritizing my time. My time is invaluable. My time is a very organized system that allow me to manage it. I am not just going to be saying yes to anything that comes to me as a priority. I need to make sure that I attend first to the things that matter most to me before I can say yes to anything out there. Because if I keep saying yes to things out there, I'm saying no to myself. And compound effect is over time, I'm simply going to realize that yes, the things I'm achieving are nowhere closer to where I'm supposed to be. Why? Because I spent a great amount of time doing things for other people that had nothing to do with where I want to go. Again, manage your time. That's number one. Number two, how you manage your space. I'm talking about space as your physical space, your mental space, as well as your spiritual space. So when you look at your environment right now, your mental environment, your physical environment, your spiritual environment, how clean is it? Is it the type of environment that is conducive to the type of performance you're looking for? Or is it basically still all over the place as far as what's supposed to be there and what is there actually? So that's something you have to actually pay close attention to. And let me just tell a funny story before I move on to the next one. A few years ago, when I was living in Africa, one particular morning, my grandpa took a bunch of workers and said, today we seem to look after, you have to clean everything and to make it look nice. As they were working, I was outside talking to a few people, and I heard someone make a very interesting comment. It says, but why is this gentleman wasting his money to clean the appearance of this compound on the outside? Who cares how it looks? I look at the gentleman, I look at my grandpa, and right then, I saw a light bulb go off. He said, duh, he's paying attention to the space, to the environment. Because he's in a different space, because he's elite. This gentleman is where he is right now because the environment does not mean anything to myself. Of course, your space matters because your space allows for you to operate at a particular level. If your space is all over the place, if your space is crowded, if your space is basically something that doesn't really speak to you, chances are on the inside you are still going to be operating at less than what you're supposed to. That's the second thing. The third thing is you also now have to pay attention to your nervous system. How you manage yourself, how you manage the thoughts, how you manage the feelings, how you manage the emotion that basically are going through your mind on a daily basis. Because if your thoughts and feelings are all over the place, chances are you are not going to be the type of person that can command the type of performance you want to command, and ultimately become the type of person that does not need validation from people as far as where your life is supposed to be. That's just basically the principle, and a principle can be summed up in three things: TSN, your time, your space, and your nervous system. Now let me give you an example that can better illustrate what I'm talking about. In 1978, when Mike Tyson went to Catskill for the very first time and was introduced to the legendary Cultivate, after the audition, Cultivate said, yes, this young man has potential. But in order for me to brainwash this young man to become the champion I see in him, you need to leave this young man with me. So he was talking up to Bobby Stewart, the social worker who brought Mike Tyson to Cultivate. And as Bobby Stewart left Mike Tyson with Cultivate, who ultimately became a tutor, what happened is Cultivate focused on 3 areas of this young man's life: how he managed his time on a daily basis, how he managed his space, and how he regulated his nervous system. Let me break it down for you. Time-wise, every single day in the morning, Mike Tyson got into a routine that he has to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go running for about 5 miles. At 4 o'clock in the morning. And his rationale over time was that I'm doing this. I'm not enjoying this, but I'm doing this because I know that my competition is not doing it. I'm doing this because I know I'm elite, and elite manage them time differently. That was the first thing. He will go to bed at also very particular time. Why? Because he knows that in order for me to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I need to go to bed earlier. I need to manage my time during the day. I need to manage my time in the evening, because how I will allow my body to recover is going to determine how I'm going to function in the morning. And that was something key. That was the first thing. Number 2 is space. Mental space. Physical space. We just focus on physical space. Cultivate turned a young man that knew had the size to compete as a boxer, but he turned this young man into a sculpture by managing a few key things. The young man started working on his neck, doing physical exercise for his neck to build up the strength to sustain the blows that could be coming toward his head. Number 1. Number 2, starting doing squatting to maintain the type of stamina it will need when it comes to getting in the ring, going up and down, when it comes to dodging all the blows. And because he managed his space so well, over time he became a formidable opponent, to reach a point where by the time he reached 16, 18, almost everyone in the boxing industry knew of Mike Tyson. And the last but not least, nervous system. And this is where Cultivate took Mike Tyson to the next level, to make the switch in his mind, to make him a switchonaire before he was actually able to command all the millions. Mike Tyson used to tell us a funny story. He says, anybody can put up gloves, anybody can get training and believe that yes, I'm a contender. But the day of competition, the time between being in the locker room, in the waiting area, until your name get called out to go out in the ring, that's where most people simply realize that their nervous system is all over the place. They quit before going there. They will simply tell the trainer, I don't think I can take this. I'm going to pack up and go home, because it will get to a place where they become overactivated and the fight or flight response comes, and guess what? They seem to pack up and go. On the other end, Mike Tyson had worked so much on his nervous system that the wait between when he was in the waiting room, in the locker room, until we get called, never rattled him. He was simply saying, yes, it is okay, because he knew exactly what he had become. As far as his mental space is concerned, he already saw himself as a champion. The record was already broken in his own mind before it became a reality for all of us. So again, that's where I'm going to stop. Again, the formula is very simple. TSN, manage your time better, manage your space better, manage your nervous system better, and before you know it, what's going to happen is the subconscious is going to take over and see going to turn whatever you see in your mind now into reality. Because as long as the mind is blank, what's going to happen is it's not going to give you anything tangible as far as the results are concerned. Many people focus on only one key thing, the do or the have. If I can have this particular car, then I'm going to feel powerful. If I can start behaving like this person, then I'm going to start feeling powerful. But what they don't understand is the key principle. You have to become first the type of person that's going going to be doing and having all these things. And once you become the type of person that basically does not need validation from all this objects, from all these shiny objects out there that come your way, slowly but surely the nervous system is going to become relaxed, give you the relaxed performance you need to maintain that momentum. It's going to give you the ability to simply maintain what you have actually built, and it's going to give you the ability to also manage your time better, because you're going to come to a place where you simply realize that yes, my time is so closely linked to this one key thing, timing, when it comes to everything as far as all the opportunities out there are concerned. All right, I'm gonna stop right here. Before I go again, if you watch this video until the very end, one key thing I'm gonna ask you to do, simply tap in the comment section, switch your name. All right, much love everyone. I'm out.